Welcome back to our Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. We're going to be talking about Mohamed Kudus and the rest to the signature of the Ghanaian international. We'll be talking about Julian Timber and whether that changes our transfer policy and transfer plans as we head into the final dying days of the window. And reports in Spain are saying do not rule out Ansu Fati to Arsenal as well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let me know in the comment box below. Do you think we should go and sign a player similar to Julian Timber? Now, of course, he's remarkable, he's wonderful, but he's going to be out for quite some time. It is now confirmed that it's going to be months rather than weeks. Do you think Arsenal should go out and find a player of that profile? We have a couple of those ones that we're looking at in case the deal didn't happen. Mohamed Simakan at RB Leipzig is one of the players I really liked in this window, but also Edmond Tapsoba, not really like Julian Timber, but Tapsoba is one I like. So let me know in the comment box below, does that or should that actually change our transfer policy? It's going to be a hefty season, difficult season. Arsenal need to be on top of their game every single day. Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. I'll give you my thoughts later on, but I just want to give you that update. If you've not watched the previous video, Arsenal have done the scans and early signs, early reports are saying it's going to be months rather than weeks. He's going to be out for a couple of months. He's torn his ACL. It's an injury that we have in football in these days. Madrid have two of those. Chelsea have two of those, with Christopher Nkunku not even playing any Premier League game for them yet. We did have one with, I think it was Sasa Kalajic at Wolverhampton Wanderers as well, and now Julian Timber has also suffered that one. But of course, we pray that he actually comes back a little bit earlier. We will miss him because he's such a vital talent. He's a very good player, and I think every Premier League side that would have looked at Arsenal with Timber and Saliba, they would have known it was going to take some beating in order to get past that back four. It was always going to take some beating to get past those two, especially with Timber, with the ability to invert into midfield and stop the attacks and the threats right from the start. We are going to miss him. We are really going to miss him, okay? But let's start off with the KUDUS one, because it is actually catching up and down. Arsenal are facing another problem in the KUDUS race. There is another club that has actually arrived on top of Brighton, and that is West Ham. So West Ham are saying they've actually, according to Sky, West Ham have agreed personal terms with Mohamed Kudus, and now they're waiting for Lucas Paqueta to move over to Manchester City, and they will place a bid for Mohamed Kudus, and they will actually take him to the London Stadium. So the problem with this deal is competition now. It is not about Arsenal selling anymore. It's not about the unavailability of funds at the moment. It's not about Arsenal waiting to sell. It's the competition. Now, what is actually very scary in this one, and why I think Arsenal could lose out on Mohamed Kudus, is very simple. I actually think Kudus prefers a move to West Ham over Brighton. Hence, he's actually agreed personal terms. Romano has said there's no problem in terms of salary. There's no problem in terms of length of contract. Everything seems set. The player really loves the project. Ajax have told Mohamed Kudus, you've got to give us an answer before time goes. We need to find a replacement. We need to find a new player. And, you're not deciding. Are you staying? Are you leaving? And in my heart, deep down, I think he was about to trigger that green button. Let me stay at Ajax for one more season, and then I'll leave next summer. But with West Ham coming in, I don't see him stay at Ajax. One, West Ham have a lot of money. They've signed James Ward-Prowse. They've also brought in Edson Alvarez, but their money is not done. They brought in Edson Alvarez for around 40. They brought in James Ward-Prowse for around 30 and Harry Maguire for around 30. Yeah, probably that's 100 million. But I tell you what, you don't think West Ham didn't have money to spend before the transfer window. They did have money to spend. So they're not just spending the Declan Rice money, they're still spending money they got from the qualification to the Europa League, winning the UEFA Conference League, and things like that. So I see him go to West Ham. It's a very good deal for him. It's a very good move for the player. He's going to play a lot of minutes. But there is a catch. And this is where Arsenal have some kind of breathing space, right? So West Ham will not sign Mohamed Kudus in case Lucas Paqueta stays. Now, if you ask me, the likelihood that Paqueta stays at West Ham, it is 10 over 100. Okay, make that of what you want. I don't see him stay there with Manchester City bidding 75 million and West Ham turning it down, and Manchester City saying we are going to come again. Well, they know they have that big problem of Kevin De Bruyne. Is now injured. He's 33, 32, 33. So he's always going to be picking up those long injuries, courtesy of the long career he's actually had. He's been a very important player, and he is a very important player for Man City. They need to find a replacement, and they need to do that quick. Paqueta fits the box. He has the qualities. Played in the Premier League, Brazilian, very creative, very good work rate off the ball. He can run, he can pass, he can kill a game, he can take a shot. I think they will be obsessed. The manager, Pep Guardiola, will be obsessed over Paqueta. And West Ham will look at this as a very good deal. Paqueta has signed for them last summer. They've signed him for around maybe 40, 50 million. They're going to make 95 or 100 million from his sale. That is 50 million profit. They will just get 40 million of that, place it on the table for Ajax. It's a done deal. So if we want to win this one, it's one where we're going to have to compete with two clubs that have a lot of money. Brighton have received 115 million from Chelsea for Moises Caicedo. And they've also received 55 million from Liverpool for the sale of McAllister. How much is that? That's 170 million there to be spent. We are also fighting with two clubs, with another club in West Ham, who are going to be having 200 million that they have made in player sales this summer. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So if unless Arsenal can go and make a huge sale, like Balogun to Tottenham, as so many of you didn't like that story when I actually did it. It is true. Tottenham are interested. There's no bid. There are no formal talks, but they are interested in Balogun to replace Harry Kane. So let me know in the comment box below. KUDUS, is he anywhere a priority anymore? With Julian Timber, injured, is KUDUS still a big priority for Arsenal? In my opinion, in my own thoughts, I would definitely say no. I wouldn't really say he's a big priority. If we don't get him, we're a failure. This is a bad transfer window. Not really. And I think if Arsenal or Mikel Arteta decided that we would go and sign Mo Simakan instead of Mohamed Kudus, I would really understand. Because you could get rid of Tomiyasu, you could get rid of Kieran Tierney, you could get rid of Cedric Soares and Rob Holding, and those four players can be replaced by one player in Mo Simakan. So it means that the squad will be very, very sustainable and very, very manageable. Timber, Simakan, White, Gabriel, and Saliba. Those would be your main centre backs, and then you would have obviously Alexander Zinchenko at left back. So I don't really think KUDUS is a big priority, especially now that Arsenal have to address a couple of other areas. We also need a striker. So on that question that I posed for you, do Arsenal need to go to the market? Do we need to turn to the market to find a replacement for Timber? I really think no. I actually think no. I actually think that this Arsenal side has a lot of depth. And this is one of the tests that we're going to have to overcome. Sometime in this season, Paqueta will pick up an injury. If he doesn't pick up an injury, I don't know. Like, that would be the worst take I've done on this channel in very, very many years. Apart from saying that Kai Havertz will have more goals and assists than Xhaka last campaign. Okay. I think Jakub Kiwior comes into the picture right now. I think this is where Jakub Kiwior now proves to the manager that he was worth the money we signed and spent on him in January. If he can come in and give us that kind of dynamism, give us that fluidity, allow the system to actually flourish when he's playing there, I think it will be wonderful. So we have the squad depth. We saw Tomiyasu come on for Timber. I don't know why Mikel really loves Tomiyasu on the left. I'm also starting to love him there. And at times I forget that he's a centre back. At times I forget that he's a right back as well. Okay, but Tomiyasu is there. Probably not the best option. But Jakub Kiwior and Alexander Zinchenko are going to be interchanging positions and roles depending on the requirements of the game. So in a game like Nottingham Forest, actually, I'll tell you this, I think that game was suited more for Alexander Zichenko than Kivio, Tomiyasu, and Timber. Why? You had possession. You needed clever players. You needed players that could actually play through the press. You needed players that could find the last man. The run of Kai Havertz, the run of Edin Ketia, the run of Gabriel Martinelli, and that's what Alexander Zichenko does. So the first half of that game was suited for Alexander Zichenko. The second half was suited for Julien Timber and Jakub Kivio. So it's going to be about what the game requires and what exactly Mikel Arteta deems fit. In games against maybe a club like Brentford, you do not play Alexander Zichenko because Brian Mbeumo will outpace him. Then you play Jakub Kivio or Tomiyasu. In games where you're playing Fulham, who have dropped off a little bit, or Everton, who don't have that attacking threat, especially this season, or even last season, you definitely then play Alexander Zichenko. But let me know in the comment box below, do you think we need to turn to the market to replace Julien Timber? And finally, stories from the Spain are saying that Ansu Fati is not a move to be ruled out to Arsenal. Now, Xavi Hernandez is one of the most confused managers I understand, but I don't see him sell Ansu Fati. After losing Dembele, Rafinha is now out on a 3-match ban, at least until the end of this transfer window. He's going to be a key player. Him and Ferran Torres are going to be the key wide players for Barcelona in the next 2-3 games. So Ansu Fati is a good player. I don't stand in his way. I love Spanish players. And I think he's one of those players that will eventually need to find a new environment to flourish, like we saw Alexis Sanchez. Now, Xavi is not the biggest fan of Ansu Fati. You see, when he plays with around 4-5 midfielders. For example, in that game against Getafe over the weekend, he played with Pedri, Gundogan. Then he brought on Gavi at some point in time before Ansu Fati. Then he also played Frankie de Jong. So he's a manager who loves players that can hold the ball and keep the ball. Now, the fancy stuff of Ansu Fati probably impresses him, but not to the extent of starting him ahead of players like, Gavi and all these other options. So I do like Fati. I think Arsenal would need a player like Fati because Fati can be more like a Mo Salah. 30 goals a campaign, brilliant winger. He will get into spaces. He'll run in behind. He can beat a man. I think his flair is made for the Premier League. But you have to ask 3 questions here. 1, how much is he going to cost? In excess of 50 million. Do Arsenal have that kind of money lying around there? No. 2, is he a priority this summer? Not really. I think we would do with a new left back. We would do with another midfielder. We'll do with another winger. Of course, Fati can play right wing and left wing if coached well. So probably he can actually fit in. But I don't see him and his profile as a priority. And then number 4, are we doing any more business in the window? Mikel Arteta says, unless there is a very interesting opportunity on the market, we are not trying to do anything. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast. I'll speak to you right in the next one.